Hello everybody and welcome to Ask MandRproductions episode 93. If you have a question you want answered next week, leave in the comments section down below. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and let's get right into it with our first question from Something Sketchy. He says, why are LEGO YouTubers so crazy about sand green? Little sand green back there on the UCS Yoda. Sand green used to be a really rare color and I think that is still kind of in a lot of people's minds. It just didn't used to be as common as it is now. So a lot of people look at sand green and they're like, oh my god, sand green, I love it. And you have this nostalgic love for the color, but it's so much more common now. It's kind of like black and white. Like, it's just not that rare of a color anymore, but like LEGO YouTubers and people in general still look at sand green as a color that they like and think of as something less common than a yellow or an orange, but it's really not that much less common anymore. It's on a lot of big sets now and in a lot of sets in general. So sand green just used to be rare and now it's not, essentially. Richie wants to know if I'll be getting the iPhone 11. I will not. I bought the iPhone XS last year. I am very happy with my iPhone XS. I have no intentions on upgrading. It's not much of an upgrade for me, but maybe next year, whatever they have next year, we'll see what they upgrade or what they do for the iPhone 11s or iPhone 12, whatever they decide to call it. Bricks to Life Animation says, what is the most forgettable LEGO theme? I think the two obvious answers for this for me are something like Avatar from 2006, and even more so, I think Galador is really the most forgettable theme because most people didn't even know what it was really until last year. I feel like it started to gain some popularity just kind of like as a meme, but kind of sort of not really. Some people like actually like it, but I'm sure there's a whole bunch of others. Maybe I should do a video on forgotten LEGO themes because there probably are quite a few that people just don't really look back on and think about. JScars8 says, do you script your videos? For the most part, like 95% of my videos, they are not scripted. Like in a video like this, I'll pick the questions and then I'll just kind of answer them off the top of my head unless it requires some research like the most forgettable LEGO theme. But like for the most part, no, nothing really is scripted. The only scripted things you'll see are the Mocktober intros or anything that kind of looks like a skit. If it seems like a skit, it probably was scripted. So that's the only time things are scripted. Even my reviews aren't scripted. Like, I just do it. Like, I don't know. There's nothing really to a lot of it. Like, it just kind of rolls off the tongue. Ninja Brick says, could you do a Corey edition of Ask MandRproductions? So yes, this could be a thing, and a big reason being is that Corey wants to start his own YouTube channel. His mom is going to allow him to do so as long as I'm like watching over it, essentially. And so he wanted to call it Mini M&R, and this is a question I'll have for you guys to answer with the pinned comment. Do you have a better name for Corey's YouTube channel than Mini M&R? Because like, I don't think that's a great name for Corey's YouTube channel. I just think there could be something better for him because you really think about it. He's 11 and he wants to start a YouTube channel. I've had my name MandRproductions for like basically a decade. When he makes this name, it's his name, right? Like, so he needs to have something that's really, really good. So if you guys have ideas for him, please leave it as a reply to the pinned comment. Jake K says, what do you think is the darkest LEGO Star Wars set? Well, LEGO has never really made like a Let's Kill the Younglings set. I think some of the darkest sets have to be some of the lightsaber duels, just where it's like kind of implied that the characters die because they do in the movie. Like Snoke's Throne Room is a perfect example. The Death Star duel set from 2015 is a good example. Like anything like that, the Duel on Naboo set from 2017, like any of those sets are just perfect examples of what I would consider to be the darkest that LEGO Star Wars will get. Like, it doesn't get darker than that, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on who you are. But yeah, those would be the darkest sets in my opinion. Let me know if you guys have one that's darker than that, but those are what I can think of. JDK Productions says, what is the worst LEGO Star Wars polybag? You know, I don't think there's a lot of bad LEGO Star Wars polybags. I think for the most part, they're great. They're $4. You can't really complain too much about them. But I would think that the worst one, we're taking out like May the 4th promo bags with like minifigures and stuff, just like polybags that you would find at Target and Walmart. I think the worst one has to be the Kylo Ren shuttle from 2015, the original Kylo Ren shuttle. I think that's pretty obviously the answer for this because it's just so inaccurate to what the actual ship is supposed to look like and what it's supposed to do. So inaccurate, in fact, that they remade the polybag, which doesn't happen a lot. But yeah, I know it's not LEGO's fault that it's inaccurate, but at the end of the day, it's inaccurate, and therefore, by my arbitrary definition, it would be bad, or the worst compared to all the rest, which are just good mini models. Like, there's no real thing to say is bad about most of them. Julian Rocky says, which should I choose, the UCS Star Destroyer or the UCS Millennium Falcon? Now, that is a tough one. Both sets are freaking awesome. They're both really expensive. Obviously, the Star Destroyer is $100 less, and I don't have the Star Destroyer in hand yet. I have had some experience with the Millennium Falcon. I have one sitting sealed out in my garage, but I don't like have it built currently, which I kind of regret now because I wish I had one built to like compare to the Star Destroyer when I get it. But I will say, if you had to choose one of the two, I think the Falcon is going to edge out the Star Destroyer for most people, and that's what I would have to suggest just based on that. The Falcon has more pieces, it has an interior, it has more minifigures, so based on all of that, therefore it's 100% a better value, right? That's the argument I would get from most people. So, I mean, if you want to go with that, go with the Falcon. It's a much more noticeable or well-known vehicle or ship as well from the Star Wars universe, so if you're trying to just have something cool that people are going to recognize, that's it. But the Star Destroyer is not a bad choice either. I just think the Millennium Falcon is slightly better in a few different categories that people seem to care about. Castle Production says, when LEGO randomly put Chrome minifigures in sets, did you find them in sets or did you buy them on eBay? I was never lucky enough to find a Chrome Vader or a Chrome C-3PO inside of a LEGO Star Wars set at the time. I did want to do what I was seeing on YouTube at the time, is that people would bring like little scales to like Walmart or Target, and they would weigh the sets to see which one had like a small weight variance, being like slightly heavier, therefore it had the minifigure inside. But I never did that because I was like 14 at the time, so I didn't like, well, I didn't know. I just didn't know how to like order the right scale and do it and everything. If it happened today, I would totally be in Walmart with a scale weighing every set that it could possibly be in to see which ones have the set. Oh my god, it would be disgusting. I don't know. I kind of wish they would do it again, but they probably won't. I don't know. They just haven't done it in so long. Takarb Studio says, what happened to M&R builds? I mean, I just haven't been uploading to it. I'm sorry. I did upload the Star Destroyer, that Star Destroyer speed build. I didn't film my Yoda speed build, but I also did upload or will upload a speed build of the next Star Destroyer. So, I mean, I still uploaded to it occasionally, but I'm just not on top of it like I was earlier in the year. So, it's just me being lazy. Marvel Brick Production says, I know you don't like Chima, but which LEGO Chima set is the best? Well, there's the one that looks like an AT-AT, so I think I have to go with that one. I remember seeing it on clearance at Walmart quite a few times, and I just like kept walking by it being like, this is garbage, but like, I don't know, there's like this decent looking temple, but most of them look like animals, and I was never a fan of like big animal Lego builds, kind of like what they have with like Ninjago dragon stuff. Like, I'm just not into that. So most of the Chima sets aren't my cup of tea, but if I had to choose, it'd be either the temple set that I'm showing you or the woolly mammoth AT-AT crossover event. RX2345 says, can you do a video on your gaming setup? Maybe I'll do it on M&R Games. Yeah, I'll do an M&R Games gaming setup tour. I was going to flip the camera around and just show you guys, but I figured it'd be better as its own full-fledged video so I can kind of go in depth on everything instead of just glossing over it on here. I think that would be more enjoyable for people that are actually looking for something like that, I guess. Colin Brown says, would you rather have a Final First Battle Pack or be the richest person in the world? Dude,
tell them to bring me my money.
Yeah! Zach and Brick says, what camera are you using? It is amazing. I'm using a Canon M60. At least I think that's what it's called. It doesn't say the name on here, so that's what I remember it being called, with a Rode VideoMic Pro. And I'm also using a tripod. So that's kind of my setup right now with the camera and the mic and everything. Very awesome camera, great microphone. I would recommend it if you're trying to spend $600 to start a YouTube channel and that's your like budget for a camera. Not a bad camera at all. Mahan says, what LEGO thing has made you the angriest? Was it the Target rants or the Star Destroyer thing or something completely different? Sorry, I couldn't read the question behind my tripod. I told you I got a janky setup right now, but point being, I think the Target thing made me the most angry. The Star Destroyer thing, like, but the Target thing, the thing that really made me upset about that, and even after I made the video made me more upset, is the reaction that I got from it, where people were saying, oh, why don't you just wait like everyone else? It wasn't that I had to wait like everyone else, right? Like, with these new episode 9 sets, they're street dated at Target. I could go to Target and do the same thing, like, oh, I know I know you guys have them, but they won't sell them to me because they're street dated, and I know that, and that's okay. Like I understand that concept, right? But in the case of the Target rant from earlier this year with the 20th anniversary sets, my big crux of the big issue I had was that the sets up to like possibly an hour before I tried to buy them were not street dated. Like, they were being purchased by people for like a week before I finally was able to find some. And then when I get there and I found like people posted receipts from like an hour before I was being told, no, they're street dated. So Target retroactively street dated them. They weren't street dated the entire time. And that's what made me upset. And I don't think a lot of people took that away from my video, and so they think I'm just mad that they're street dated. No, I was mad that they weren't street dated, and then all of a sudden they were street dated. So like, that's the kind of timeline we were working with. With the episode 9 stuff, like, it's street dated. Like, what am I gonna do? I'm not gonna be angry about that. But I was just angry that they weren't street dated, and then they were, and then people were mad at me for being mad that they were street dated, but I don't think people understood that I was mad because they weren't street dated before that. So I don't know. P-Dubs TV says, hey Ryan, I was wondering what you and Timmy have in store for Bonafide Bricks. Well, Timmy and I are starting up a new like custom Lego business, custom minifig stuff and prints and everything, and hopefully it'll be launching in October. Not exactly sure if October 1st is the set in stone day one, but Timmy will be at my house in a week or two. I can't remember the exact days he'll be here, but he'll be here for a couple days. We'll probably do a couple of videos together, kind of announcing what we're doing and maybe another like collab thing, and should be a fun time. But yeah, we're starting like a business thing, kind of like, I guess, akin to David has minifigs for you, so it'll be like custom figures and stuff, but it'll be updated more often than minifigs for you and other things. Like, we want to do like monthly product releases and limited edition stuff and very current event things. So whatever it may be, let me know in the comment section below. Would you buy a Lego gamer girl? You know who I'm talking about, Belle Delphine with her bathwater custom printed? Well, with Bonafide Bricks, she'll be able to. That's the idea. Well, that's kind of what we want to do. So we're really looking forward to getting that off the ground here in the next month or two. So yeah, Timmy will be at my house and we'll be working on that stuff. Aiden E says, have you ever got a broken piece in a set? I recently did with an Essential Technic piece in the Tantive 4. So I'm sorry you had to deal with that, but I'm sure Lego customer service sent you out a new one for free and you didn't have to fret too much over it. But no, I have never had a broken Lego piece in a set when I took the set out of the box. I have, however, had pieces break after like 10 years. Very uncommon for pieces to be broken in the box though, for sure. LA Angels 0412 says, do you plan on going to Galaxy's Edge? Yes, this fall. I think Just Too Good, Pro Lego Channel, and I are gonna go one day. I'm waiting for the weather to cool down. It'll still be super busy, I'm sure, but the cooler weather will make it a lot more bearable. I'm just not going right now. It's 90 degrees out. No thank you. Daniel Hart says, what is the best place to go for Force Friday? Target, Walmart, like which place has the best stalker selection, blah blah blah. So I obviously Toys R Us was the go-to place for the last few Force Fridays, and now with Toys R Us gone, especially in the US, I assume you're also in the US, Target would probably be the place to go. Target is really good with using their set dates and having products on the shelf by the set date. So I think Target would like 100% have the sets on the shelf day one. Obviously they already have stuff in their stock room at like every store in America, so they're going to be ready for this event. I think Target might even do midnight at some stores, which I would go to if it's available. Otherwise I'll be at the Lego store first thing when they open October 4th, assuming I don't get them early elsewhere. But yeah, Walmart will probably have the sets, but Walmart is notoriously bad at putting things on shelves. I hear people tell me, oh, it takes them a month to put stuff on at my store. So yeah, like Target's probably the way to go for these new sets. Walmart usually is bad at putting things on shelves from what I hear on the internet. That'll do it for this week's episode of Ask MandRproductions. If you guys enjoyed, leave a like. If you have any answers to the questions that I put to you guys, please leave them in the comment section below. If you have a question for me from next week, I would greatly appreciate it also being left in the comment section, and I'll see you all next week. Goodbye.